Hey, thanks for tuning in to Twang and Bang. Last year when I reviewed the RePlay XD cameras, it was really easy to conclude that they're the best point of view cameras on the market for mounting onto a firearm. But for 2014, RePlay has stepped things up a notch, and they've taken the resolution of the XD 1080 and put it into the body of the XD 720. It's called the 1080 Mini, and it's a lot more than its higher resolution that makes it what I think is the new best camera for mounting on a firearm. And that's why it's coming up next on Twang and Bang. The 1080 Mini is the latest POV action cam from RePlay XD, who has been making some of the most impact-resistant POV cameras available since 2008. Its all-metal housing is Type 1 black anodized aluminum with O-ring sealed front and rear bezels. The body is waterproof to 10 feet, which means that you don't have to use a bulky housing like you do with other POV cameras when in wet conditions. It shoots high-quality 1080p video at 30 frames per second or 720p in 30 or 60 frames per second, and it can also take 5 megapixel photos. The lens gives up to 120 degrees field of view and is protected by a replaceable polycarbonate cover. Other POV cameras leave you SOL when their lenses are scratched in windy, sandy conditions, but with the 1080 Mini, you can swap in a fresh lens cover whenever needed that costs less than $2. The compact size of the 1080 Mini is most remarkable when you compare it to the original XD 1080. Full HD resolution is the same between these two cameras, yet the 1080 Mini saves you $50 at an MSRP of only $199. The body of the 1080 Mini is similar to the original XD 720, but it has the addition of witness marks around the front and rear of the mounting surface. This is very handy for aligning the camera from above and for repeating its orientation when used in odd mounting locations. The rear bezel is also flat now, allowing you to mount two 1080 Minis end-to-end to save space. RePlay XD includes two different adhesive mounts, a low-profile mount, a Heim joint mount, mini USB cable, silk camera bag, and a case to hold it all. They now even include a tripod mount, which didn't come with my pre-production unit, which is something other POV cameras make you buy separately. RePlay also makes a machined aluminum Picatinny mount that allows 360 degrees of camera rotation to give you great flexibility in framing your shot. The Picatinny mount has two parts for attaching to any 1913 spec rail. I'm actually using a Magpul left side MOE light mount running backwards on the right side to get more of the barrel in the video frame. It's actually a pretty slick setup because you can get the camera nice and high and still keep it out of the way of your sightline. Two other pieces clamp onto the camera with rubber grip pads to protect the finish and hold the camera in place. Here's where the witness marks really come in handy. The MOE light mount does not sit perfectly horizontal, so I have to rotate the camera and the mount to compensate. I've made a note of the witness mark needed for proper orientation, so remounting with the right alignment is super easy. As you can see, the camera and the barrel of my 590A1 match with no drama required, whereas the mounting systems of other POV cameras would have required adding several extensions in order to accomplish the same thing. Here's a side view of the clip shown in the opening of the video. You can see that the 1080 Mini is out of the way of operating the shotgun, and it would be no problem running it this way in a 3-gun competition. For combat or law enforcement use, it would be better to mount it directly to a Picatinny rail on the forend to keep it much lower profile. This is the view from the same mounting point with the camera facing forward. There's no distortion from the recoil, and I get a great view of the shot hitting the targets. I realized that I could use the sight mount on my Glock G17 to do some high velocity shock testing of the camera. I wouldn't suggest running the camera this way for POV footage simply because you'll have no way to sight the pistol. However, it still gives a pretty unique perspective on the cycling of the slide while proving its resistance to shock at the same time. I've had other POV cameras blink out from recoil less than this, but the 1080 Mini recorded right through every cycle of the slide with no drop frames. It did shift the sight mount because I don't have it installed correctly. I just threw it on there. I still need to get the slide drilled and tapped. So the force of this did shift it, but the camera's still running, and it turned off. I can't wait to see the footage. That's incredible. That's great. My absolute favorite use of the 1080 Mini is to run two of them back to back on a carbine. Together, including mounts, they weigh less than a weapon light and take up about the same amount of space. For range and competition use, I can keep them mounted high like this to get a more natural point of view for both cameras. However, if you were to use them for military or law enforcement operations, you can mount them running right against the side of the handguard to reduce the chance of snagging. Here is exactly my perspective when shooting, and you can see that the cameras don't take up any significant space from my field of view. So when I say that I don't even know they're there when I'm shooting, I mean it in every way. They're small, they're light, and I don't even see them when I mount them this way. By limiting the field of view to 120 degrees, the 1080 Mini avoids the fisheye effect of other POV cameras while still providing a very large frame for your video. It also means that objects appear at their natural distance in front of you instead of appearing farther away like they can with other cameras. This was taken with two 1080 Minis set up the way I showed you, and I can't even imagine what it would take to get this great split screen clip using other cameras. There really isn't anything else out there that would let me do this so easily. Not only is the 1080 Mini waterproof to 10 feet without an additional housing, its microphone actually works really well underwater too. This creek is a little murky to show off the clarity of the 1080 Mini underwater, but you still get the idea that there isn't anything to worry about when it comes to using the Mini in wet conditions. With all the accessories that are available for the 1080 Mini, like this included high mount, it's a great POV camera for a lot of different uses, but you're gonna have to go to other people's channels to see it in use on Baja race trucks, on snowboards, on jet skis, on skydivers. I wanted to show it in use on firearms because its cylindrical form factor, its small size, it's lightweight, and its great image and audio quality put it head and shoulders above any other point of view camera that's out there for mounting on a firearm. There's nobody out there that's serving the firearms community like RePlay, and I think it's gonna take a dramatic change in product shape and size for any of the other companies to come close to what we already have with the 1080 Mini. If you want to learn more about the 1080 Mini, be sure to click the link in the video description below. If you like this video, please take the time to log in and click the like button. YouTube needs to know that you like firearms-oriented programming. If you'd like to help the channel even more, be sure to click right here so you can see how you can contribute to my Patreon campaign. Be sure to click right here to subscribe so you can catch my next videos on bows, guns, and other cool stuff like the RePlay XD. I really appreciate you watching Twang and Bang, and hope to see you next time.